and say, hey, what's this?
Right. Yeah, I would like to have that happen if possible. So if you know anyone who's a mainstream agent or publisher, throw my name out there to the point of annoyance.
Absolutely.
You can count on us. We can be annoying.
Thank you. I'll be here until you shut me off.
Well, he knows us pretty well already, doesn't he, Brian?
Yeah, you control the big red button.
He does this pretty well. I don't think he has any clue of how actual deep that goes.
Oh. So have there been, any more altering experiences in the paranormal that you really have stuck with you, that you really would like to share, or the ones that really stand out in your investigations, or UFO sighting, UFO, sky watching, or any of your investigations that really, are the most memorable?
There have been several. One in particular. This one I tell anyway, even though I was the only witness to this. But I know what I saw, I know what I encountered, and I know what I talked to. But I was the only person who experienced this. No one else was there to validate it. But it was when, in 2003, we had a couple of crop formations pop up in the Ohio Valley. One was in Peebles, Ohio. The other was in Bainbridge. They were all within a month of each other. And the one in Peebles showed up in like September 2003, exactly parallel across the road from the Indian Serpent Mounds, the Hopewell Serpent Mounds. And in Bainbridge, the other one popped up a month later, directly across the street from the Hopewell Seip Mounds, S-E-I-P Mounds, directly across the road from it. I don't know if there's any kind of a mystical correlation between the two. Excuse me, I'm getting a text message. This is embarrassing. Stop it. So, did you hear that parrot go off? That's my text message parrot notification. So, what ended up happening, I went to the one in Peebles in the beginning, and I was escorted off the property by a couple of dressed in all black officers, strange markings on their shirts. But they had a sheriff's cruiser there. They had a couple of other vans setting up. They had it all marked off with orange tape. Nothing saying caution, police line, do not cross. It was just all like big, thick orange tape. And a couple of white vans were at the end of the lane. And there were men that were just out there surveying the land and pulling up crop and pulling up dirt and dropping them in these little coolers. And then they'd walk back to the van and put it in the back. So I'm thinking either that's a private organization or like paranormal scene investigators or possibly a government organization just testing the soil, testing the crop, determining exactly what this was that caused that. So I'm standing there watching this for a little while, and they move me off and tell me that I have to leave. This is private property. This is sectioned off. I come back a week later to the same location. Not a soul anywhere. The tape has been removed. The formation is still there, and it's completely calm this day. It's a warm day in like around late September, and I pull my car into the parking lot of the Serpent Mounds, and I'm getting out. There's no cars in the parking lot. No one is touring the Serpent Mounds at this point, and the farm that's across the field, no one's home. No cars anywhere, nothing flying overhead. I get out of my car, walk across the road, and as soon as I enter the field to start taking pictures and video of the formation and take my own soil samples and my own crop sample, this voice comes up from behind me and says, "Sir, you're going to have to come out of the field and leave now." I stopped and turned and looked, and it was someone dressed like a sheriff's deputy, but it was like a khaki-colored uniform and did not match the sheriff's department of that jurisdiction, of that county. It looked like something you'd see a Mountie wearing. And he didn't have a badge of identification. He did not have a weapon on him. He had on black, thick gloves, and he was standing there with his arms folded, with dark glasses on, staring at me like he was the Terminator. And as I'm walking back, I'm explaining to him, I have permission from the owner of this property to be here. I'm just taking pictures and video. He said, "Sir, I'm not going to ask you again. You need to shut off your camera, get back in your vehicle, and drive home, please." I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So I get up, walking out of the field, walking directly past him. He does not move. He does not look at me. He just stares straight ahead. Get in my car, and I'm driving out of the parking lot, and I'm looking around, and there's no cars anywhere. There's no helicopter hovering above me. The dude didn't have a parachute. So I'm thinking, where did he come from? Was he just hanging out in the woods, and he just decided to walk out and do that to me? So as I'm driving off, I'm watching him in my rearview mirror, and he walks directly into the field, into the crop, which at that point is only knee-high, and completely just evaporates. Almost like it was a smoke and mirror trick or something. He just walked into the crop, looked straight ahead as he was the entire time, and just vanished. I hit my brake, put my car in park, stuck my head out through the door, and just watched for a little bit to see if I'd get any kind of a blast of wind, any kind of a hot blast of anything. I'm looking up in the sky to see if maybe there was a UFO that abducted this guy. It reminded me a lot of the movie The Forgotten, starring Julianne Moore, where these things were happening, these weird events and occurrences were happening around her life, and it was all a part of a human